everyone, I'm Liz. I'm a mindset coach. How are you today? I wanted to get on and do a short little teaching or training on what to do when it sucks. We all get to these moments where we think we're on our way and then we just feel stuck. Something happens, something hits our lives, like a big bill or an illness or a problem with a person that we love, or something like that. And we just get stuck sometimes, and we just feel like, oh my gosh, I was on my way. Now I feel terrible. And I teach on the paradigm, that's what I call subconscious programming, the parts, at least the parts that are ill-serving, the parts that don't serve us, false belief systems, things like that. And I want to just share some things that I do. I put them in about 4 categories, I think. I wrote down a quick list of things that I do to help me feel better. A lot of times it's just a matter of rolling through it. I feel like a lot of times when we hit challenges, it's that our prior paradigm, our prior subconscious programming has just still rolling downhill, even though we're affirming a new reality for ourselves. I think sometimes it's like the Mississippi River. So some things are still coming downhill, and also challenges hit. And as we're learning to do this mindset work, we can still have challenges, and we sometimes put ourselves into a double bind, right? Where you do your affirmations and your scripting and auto suggesting, but then later on the day you're driving in the car and you're like, oh, it's never going to happen. And then your subconscious is like, well, what do you want? Do you want it to happen or do you not want it to happen? Someone told the story once of a taxi driver talking about how a taxi, if you get in a taxi cab and say, I want to go to 38th and Broadway, and you start on your way, like, no, I want to go downtown. No, I want to go to the west side. No, I want to take me downtown to the center of Central Park. At some point, the taxi driver is going to go, what the heck do you want? And pull over and kick you out. And I think we do that to the subconscious. Psychology calls it a double bind. Anyway, one thing I do when I'm feeling kind of lousy is I give myself grace and I understand it. I don't beat myself up. And one thing I can do is I can set an intention for a time when I'm going to feel better, right? I'm going to day drink today a bottle of wine. I'm going to make it into wine spritzers all day and binge watch a show that may or may not be autobiographical. And then after that, I'll be better. Or when I wake up tomorrow, I'll be better. Or after I have that conversation, I'm going to feel better. Or after dinner tonight, or after I eat that chocolate, or, whatever it is. So my point is, you can set a time for when you're going to feel better and just say, I intend that after this networking event or what have you, I'm going to feel better. The other thing I find that works and helps as I roll through this time when it sucks is I'm thankful. I do thankful exercises. If I'm not up for any other affirming or scripting work, I'll just write down what I'm thankful for, what's happened in the past, what's happened in the way past, what's happened in the current time. I just so thankful for my life, because honestly, like, I'm warm, dry, housed. I have vehicles that run. I have my health. I'm pretty trim. I'm kind of cute. Like, what is the problem really, right? These daily challenges, but there's so much to be thankful for. Another thing is I sometimes will take that time and I'll manifest smaller things, like, well, my big thing is manifest it kind of sucks, but I'm going to manifest someone's going to buy me a cup of coffee today. Someone's going to bring me flowers, or I'm going to find a dime on the sidewalk. You're just going to, delight yourself with smaller manifestations. And also back to the thankful thing for a minute. I also am thankful for the big manifestations I've already happened. Like, I have a house. I pay for this house myself. It's great. I have the money to pay my own mortgage, right? So I'm so happy that I had the money to get a mortgage, right? The other thing I do is I self-soothe. So I keep a long list of self-soothing things, and I do things from this list all that I can. This is not self-medicating. This is self-soothing, like make myself a cup of tea, watch a show. That's really actually watching TV or whatever is actually not on my list, but it's walk the dog, do some beauty care, take a Epsom salt bath, soak my feet, paint my nails, dye my hair, give myself a clay mask, a lot of beauty stuff. It's fun. Or take care of the house, take care of a vehicle, do a little gardening, talk to the neighbor, text some girlfriends, right? Something like that. So I have a soothing list, a self-soothe list, and I make and do a lot of that all day long. I also say to myself some affirmations that feel better, even if I don't feel so. I'll say something like, okay, this too shall pass. Or, hey, you got this, girl. It's getting better and better all the time. It's getting better and better every day. This is if I'm not in the mood to go full on, like, I always have the best day ever. If I'm not in the mood to say that, wonderful things are always happening in my life. I'm the luckiest woman. The reality is rigged in my favor. Everything's always working out for me. Everything's always happening for me. If I'm not up to saying all that, I can simply tone it down to be more neutral and say, okay, this too shall pass. Whew, okay. Also, I do temporary distractions. I do binge watch or, something like that, which, it might move into the self-medication realm, but I don't stay there. So I might binge watch an evening for show. Like last night, I was in a good mood last night, but I watched Brad Mondo. He does hair for an hour and he made me laugh. So I do things that make me laugh, or I watch Angela Johnson, skits, some of her comedy. And also I do something like I try to take a pre-sick day. I think a lot of times we get sick and feel down because our subconscious is suggesting to us that we need to rest. So once or twice a month, if I can, I'm not raising children right now. Mine are raised and gone, but I'll take a day where I don't do anything, or I do exactly what I want. So I don't do any chores. I just do exactly what I want. If I want to do a chore, I do a chore. If I don't, I don't. And I ask myself, if I were sick, what would I do? I'd be in bed all day with a cup of tea. Sometimes I do that. And by the way, I don't get sick, or like very often, knock on wood, not really. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and point out what to do when it sucks. You can intend a time for when you'll feel better, right? After I binge watch whatever, I'm going to feel better. After I have that conversation, or after I get home from that event, I'm going to feel better. Be thankful. Remember things you've already manifested, or wonderful things that have happened that you already have. I manifest smaller things to support me. I self-soothe. I also make more neutral. There we go. Make more neutral, manifesting affirmations like this too shall pass. I allow myself temporary distractions, especially if they're funny. And sometimes I take pre-sick days. But anyway, that's what I have for you today. Short, quick, and sweet. Love you guys. If you're interested in mindset coaching, I have a number of types of packages, and coaching is now open. Hit me up at the email below. Take care. Bye-bye.